All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go for Heat 1. Brad Ronning and Steven Seams will have the front row. Ed Sr. and Dean Buck on the second row. Ryan McDaniel, Austin Ruskoff on the third. Brandon Murphy, Andrew Thornton, and Chance Maderick round out the field for Heat 1. Brian Hewitt ready to go. Brian, will you be able to avoid Ryan tonight? You guys have already met on track once. Can you avoid it a second time? As it looks like Brad Ronning will drop to the tail. So that will put Steven Seams and Ed Sr. on the front row. Pace car leading him around. They will drop in. Pace car will drop in the middle of 3 and 4, and almost the instant that pace car hits pit road, the green flag drops here at 5 Flags. So get ready. Pace car ducks in. Green is in the air. Heat 1 of the late models underway. Ed Sr. quickly to the high side, setting up his entry into 1. Steven Seams had a bit of a run. The door got shut. He's now looking under Senior. Checks up a bit. Oh, Senior bounces off the wall right back in front of Seams. They have contact. Senior's around. Dean Buck managing to slip by the chaos and take the lead. Ryan McDaniel caught a piece. And Brad Ronning got the wall out of 4. Dean Buck in the lead. Chance Maderick already to second. See if we can see what happened with Ryan. There you see Ed Sr. Ryan just gets caught up in that mess. Dean Buck continues to lead, but Chance Maderick on his bumper. Chance has a run down to the inside. But can he hold it? Oh! Chance has a big bobble, but keeps his foot in it and takes the lead. Lap car ahead, drops down to the apron. Chance Maderick goes from dead last to the lead with 2 laps to go. Chance already starting to pull a gap on Buck. Brandon Murphy already up to 3rd. Brad Ronning in 4th. Steven Seams in 5th as the white flag flies. Out of turn 2, Chance Maderick has an 0.8 of a second lead. And Chance Maderick will win Heat 1. Dean Buck coming home in 2nd. Brandon Murphy finishes 3rd. On to Heat 2. Stephen Choate, Richard Young on the front row. Vern Spring and Brian Hewitt on the second row. Nolan Perry and Richie Joplin have the third row. Joey Smith and Kirk Marble round out the field. And it does not look like Stephen Choate will take to the grid. As Centrise cheering on Brandon Murphy here tonight. And I sincerely hope I pronounced the name right. One more time around, the pace car will drop off. And again, the second the pace car hits pit road, that green flag will fly. Pace car leads them downhill, down the back straightaway. As they head off into 3 and 4, pace car dropping in, and green flag is in the air for heat 2. Vern gets a perfect launch. Richard Young has a problem on the start, drops back to 4th. Joey Smith slipping up into 2nd, just passing Nolan Perry. Brian Hewitt back in 5th, Richie Joplin on the move underneath. Kirk Marble in 7th, Stephen Choate, dim not grid, does not look like we will see him here tonight. As problems back behind for Richard Young. Coming out of turn 4, a little contact, he turns down across Richie's nose. Wow, great avoidance by Richie. Richard Young gets it going again. Joey Smith, meanwhile, is taking the lead from Vern Spring. Kirk Marble in 3rd on the attack. Oh, Kirk gets loose out of 4. Battling for 2nd, now he slips back to 6th. And Joey Smith has a 1 1/4 second lead over Vern Spring and Richie Joplin. Richard Young back out on track as they come around to take the white flag one more time around. Joey Smith now has a 1.5 second lead as they come out of turn 4, and Joey is back in victory lane in heat 2. Vern Spring coming home in 2nd. Richie Joplin finishes 3rd. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the moment we have been waiting for, the final late model feature of the season. Kyle McRicken, Martin, and Edmund Jones on the front row. Chance Maderick and Joey Smith have the 2nd row. Dean Buck, Vern Spring on the 3rd row. Brandon Murphy and Richie Joplin on the 4th row. Brad Ronning and Brian Hewitt round out the top 10. Steven Seams starting in 11 next to Nolan Perry in 12th. Andrew Thornton in 13th. Kirk Marble in 14th. Austin Ruskoff in 15th. Richard Young in 16th. Ed Sr. in 17th. And Ryan McDaniel will move up into 18th. The final late model feature of the season starts now. We already know Edmund Jones is the champ. But who can end the season with the trip to victory lane? Pace car will lead him around, dropping in the middle of 3 and 4. And will we see another green to checkers finish here in the late models? Pace car is in. Green flag is in the air. The season finale is underway at 5 flags. McRacken clears into the lead. Chance Maderick already battles for second. Brandon Murphy in 8th, starting to make his way forward. The door open. Murphy to 7th. Dean Buck slipping back to 8th. Nolan Perry already up 3 spots into 9th. Nolan has definitely got this track figured out. He has been on the attack all night. Kyle Martin up front, but Richie Joplin at the moment is the fastest on track. Kirk Marble has had a problem back behind. No caution. Coming out of 1 and 2, Kirk Meyer. Oh, Dean Buck gets loose, comes down, smacks into the side of Kirk. Kirk does get it rolling again, but lost all of his track position and then some. Andrew Thornton up 4 spots into 9th place. Also just set the fastest lap. McRacken still has the top 5, all nose to tail. Kyle Martin, Chance Maderick, Edmund Jones, Joey Smith, Richie Joplin, the top 5. Look who's in 6th and closing in. Nolan Perry is coming to the front. Edmund Jones trying to reclaim 2nd from Maderick. Side by side still. Edmund goes a little deeper into 3. Joey able to get to the inside on Chance. Nolan Perry back in 6th. Brandon Murphy right behind him in 7th. They are closing in on that group of 5 just ahead. Richie Joplin found an open door. He is sliding underneath Maderick as well. McRacken out front. Edmund, though, still right there with them. Joey in third, Richie now in fourth, Chance back to fifth, and Nolan Perry is just about caught him. These cars definitely not as much of a handful as what we saw with the mini stocks earlier. It's right along with Austin Ruskoff as he comes across the start-finish line into turn one. Not having to fight it nearly as much as they were having to fight in those mini stocks. Trying to carry his, moly cow! Spoke too soon, Austin gets a little squirrely. Riding along the nose of Ruskoff. And you can see just how fast these cars are going. What's interesting is we saw some debris coming off Brian Hewitt's tires a moment ago. iRacing has its big update tomorrow. Debris is one of the biggest updates coming out. And it will definitely have a much bigger factor, in the future as Richie Joplin has had a problem. Caution is out. Our first caution of the night. There's Richie on the bottom, loose out of four. He goes around. Andrew Thornton barely misses it. See if we can dial up Andrew Thornton's in-car camera here. See just how close this was. You see Richie getting loose, going around. Wow. It don't get much closer. Several cars coming to pit road. Chance Maderick, Kirk Marble, and McRecken all on pit road. Edmund Jones now has the lead. Nolan Perry now in second. Brandon Murphy in third. Andrew Thornton in fourth. And Vern Spring up to fifth. Brian Hewitt, Richie Joplin, Austin Ruskoff, Ryan McDaniel, and Brad Ronning round out the top 10. Definitely been an eventful start to this one. And surprisingly, this was the first caution we have seen all night long. The mini stocks went start to finish green flag racing. A really impressive night for everybody on the track. As here we go, pace car heads to pit road. Green flag is back in the air. Edmund Jones launches it into turn one, clears into the lead. Nolan Perry on the attack right behind. Brandon Murphy holding on to third. Thornton trying to squeeze under. Richie Joplin trying to take fifth from Vern. Brian Hewitt back up to seventh. Austin Ruskoff in eighth. Ryan McDaniel, the biggest mover so far, up 10 spots into ninth. Nolan Perry also up 10 spots into second, as Andrew Thornton caution is out. Steven Seams involved. Seams comes out of 2, gets loose. Oh, he just gets into Chance. Looking at this, looking at Chance from a different angle. Just barely taps Maderick. Maderick quickly saves it, but does lose some ground here. Centrise cheering on Brandon Murphy. Desiree cheering on Edmund Jones. Edmund in the lead and Brandon Murphy currently in fourth. He and Thornton were battling when the caution came out. Thornton just happened to have the nose ahead when the yellow flag flew. Brandon Murphy was one of the rookies coming into this season. He has moved up and will finish 5th in points. I stand corrected. He will move up to 4th in points. And potentially could take 3rd from Vern Spring with a much better finish than Vern. Brandon Murphy has had one heck of a season. And here we go. Pace car is in. Green back in the air. Edmund leads them off into 1. Andrew Thornton got a great restart. Gets under Perry. Takes 2nd. Now Nolan has Richie looking underneath. Brandon Murphy still lurking with Brian Hewitt right behind. Edmund Jones locked up the championship last week at Lanier. Tonight, a win would just be icing on the cake. Brian Hewitt in 6th, Vern Spring in 7th, Austin Ruskoff in 8th, McRacken back up into 9th. As Joey Smith, Ryan McDaniel, Chance Maderick, and Kirk Marble all battle for 10th on back. McRacken looking to the high side on Ruskoff. Can't get the run quite yet. Austin Ruskoff has had a problem. Caution is back out. See if we can see what happened to Austin. Oh, looks like Austin was trying to block the run. McRacken just got too far in. Take a look from a different angle. McRacken sends it into 3. And Austin, nothing he could do at that point. Edmund Jones still has the lead. Andrew Thornton in second. Richie Joplin in third. Nolan Perry in fourth. Brandon Murphy in fifth. Brian Hewitt, Vern Spring, Joey Smith, Chance Maderick, and Kirk Marble rounding out the top 10. Looks like McRacken, taking responsibility for the caution, has dropped to the tail. Should get one to green this time by. Everybody already stacked up, ready to go. Here they come into 3 and 4. Pace car about to drop in. Green flag back in the air. Edmund gets another good restart. And as long as they're battling back behind, Edmund will have the opportunity to pull away. Brandon Murphy and Nolan Perry battling for fourth. Andrew Thornton just crossed over under Richie. Chance Maderick is making his way back to the front. He is now battling with Vern for sixth. Joey Smith right behind. Brian Hewitt also there. Kirk Marble in 10th. Ryan McDaniel in 11th. Kirk gets a little bit loose out of 4, but he may get the nose in under Hewitt. And as Kirk goes by, that puts Brian Hewitt and Ryan McDaniel nose to tail. What could possibly go wrong? Hewitt all over Ryan's bumper. Whoa, Ryan, Hewitt loose out of 4. And here comes McRacken back up into 11th. Andrew Thornton in 3rd. Now Murphy back up into 4th. Nolan Perry holds on to 5th. Meanwhile, Edmund Jones has opened up a 1-second lead on Richie. Kirk Marble starting to fight his way forward, but has his hands full as Chance Maderick underneath. Richie Joplin puts a couple car lengths between him and Thornton at the moment. None of this top 5 can afford to make a mistake right now. Everybody pretty much nose to tail. Any mistake, you're losing at least one, probably a couple of positions. McRacken on the move is back up into 10th. Right behind Chance Maderick. Also, Ryan McDaniel back in 12th is closing on Brian Hewitt. Could we see more fireworks here tonight? McRacken finally clears up into 9th, but he still has a long way to go to get back where he was. And it sounded like one of the drivers may have gotten the wall. Let's take a look at Andrew Thornton. Murphy finally got a run down underneath. But Thornton just gets stuck up on the high side as both Murphy and Perry manage to slip by. Thornton now falling back into 5th. Murphy now up to 3rd, 1.5 seconds behind Ritchie. Ritchie is starting to close the gap on Edmond. Ritchie now just 0.8 of a second back. Ed Sr. back in 13th, up 4 spots. Ryan McDaniel in 12th, up 7 spots. Steven Seams back in 16th, Richard Young in 17th, Austin Ruskoff out of the race. Dean Buck had a rough start to this one, dropped from 5th to 15th in the early laps. Brandon Murphy about 2 seconds behind, and now has Nolan Perry starting to look underneath. Murphy and Perry are pulling away from Thornton for the moment. The minute they get side by side, Thornton will be back to their bumpers. He's going to bring Maderick with him. McRacken now up into 7th, Kirk in 8th. Joey Smith in 9th, Brian Hewitt in 10th. And Vern Spring has slipped back to 11th. If Brandon Murphy can hold on and get a podium, if he can finish in the top 3, that may pull him up to 3rd in points for the season. We'll get to see him next Monday night in the All-Star event. As Edmund Jones starts to work through lap traffic, there's several drivers in this field who have just not been here the whole season. I fully expect to be up fighting for wins and championships next season. That includes Vern Spring, who is long overdue, Brandon Murphy, David Lux, Brian Hewitt, and Nolan Perry, likely all to be in the fight. Nolan Perry finally cleared Murphy into 3rd. Now Brandon has Maderick right behind. What a comeback Chance has had. Chance now up into 5th. and brings McRecken, who's in 6th, Kirk Marble in 7th. Chance Maderick has a run and takes 4th place from Murphy. Murphy now back to 5th, but he will have McRecken to deal with in a moment. Murphy fights back on the bottom. Wasn't enough. Maderick managed to get back by. Andrew Thornton, who was up battling for the lead earlier on, has dropped all the way back to 8th. Brian Hewitt right behind him in 9th. Joey Smith back there in 10th. If Joey gets to Andrew, I expect to see him rattle his cage just a little bit. Richie Joplin has caught the leader. Out of turn 4, Richie has a run and the inside line. Lap car ahead, and Richie takes the lead. Edmund Jones now to 2nd, Nolan Perry in 3rd, Maderick now to 4th, Murphy in 5th. Edmund managing to stay with Richie for the moment, but with 25 laps to go, it's going to be hard to get past anybody this late in the race. Every one of these drivers in a battle right now is driving as much in their mirror as they are out the windshield. Except for Chance Maderick, who has just taken off, charging through this field. He's about 2.9 seconds behind that lead battle. He is closing in. Kirk Marble has moved into 5th, McRecken into 6th, Murphy slips back to 7th. Vern Spring at the moment will hold on to that top 3 points position, which he managed to do in both series this season. We've talked about it all season long. Vern has turned around dramatically and is getting majorly faster. We've been talking about Vern and David. Caution! Caution is back out. This is going to shake things up. See if we can see what happened here. Ed Sr. looks like he bounced off the wall a little bit. Andrew Thornton coming through 1 and 2. He is way up the track. And I just do not know what triggered the caution. We'll keep looking and see if we can figure it out. Looking at Nolan Perry. Ooh, Perry got the wall, but didn't have a problem that would bring out a caution. Well, no idea what brought the late race caution out. But that stacks the field back up. And everybody gets another shot at it. But here's the interesting part. Chance Maddock and Brian Hewitt both stayed out. Everybody else came in and got fresh tires. And those fresh tires about to make a huge difference. Green flag back in the air. Richie Joplin quickly underneath Hewitt for second. Kirk Marble on the... Oh, Marble's around. Edmund Jones slips up into third. Hewitt into fourth. Let's see what happened with Kirk. Coming out of turn two. Oh, pushes up into Edmund. Bounces off to the inside wall. Quickly recovers, but lost a lot of ground. Edmund Jones in third. Just set the fastest lap of the race as Chance Maddock up front trying to hold off the fresh tires of Richie Joplin, Edmund Jones, and Kyle McRecken Martin. McRecken just set the fastest lap of the race last time by as Richie trying to make the move up top, and he's going to get it done. Edmund Jones looks to the bottom. They may go three wide into one. McRecken backs out. Now McRecken goes to the bottom, three wide into three. As they battle, Brian Hewitt closing back up. Murphy has moved up into sixth. But has the lap car of Joey Smith between him and Hewitt. Richie Joplin, meanwhile, while they battle behind, opening up a bit of a gap. Kyle on the bottom gets a run out of four. Edmund goes to cross over. Edmund down to the bottom in 1 and 2. Maddock on older tires slipping back. Brian Hewitt, Brandon Murphy have just about caught him. Nolan Perry in 8th. Kirk Marble in 9th. And look at this. Vern Spring has made his way to 7th. Caution! Caution is out with 4 to go. Edmund Jones involved. So we will go to a green-white checkered. There's Edmund on the bottom. Kyle gets a run. And it looks like Kyle got a run right into his bumper. Get another angle on this, and yeah, Kyle just got a better run out of 4. Gets into Edmund's bumper and sends him around. And with McReckon dropping back and Joey getting waved around, the top 5 shaken up yet again. Richie Joplin, Chance Maderick, Brian Hewitt, Brandon Murphy, and Vern Spring. Now the top 5. Nolan Perry, Edmund Jones, Kirk Marble, Steven Seams, and Ryan McDaniel round out the top 10. Richie Joplin, Brandon Murphy, Vern Spring are the 3 cars in the top 5 that are on fresh tires. Chance Maderick took tires at lap 20. Hewitt has not been to pit road tonight. Ed Sr. appears to have had an incident. No, looks like Senior pulled it over and called it a night. Well, this is definitely about to heat up one more time. It has definitely been an exciting race from the drop of the green. Now for the green-white checkered. Richie Joplin out front. He will control the restart. Chance Maderick on the high side on old tires. Richie should be able to clear him fairly quickly. But then the battle is on back behind. Pace car is in. Green flag is in the air. 2 to go. Richie quickly clears into the lead. And Murphy gets turned around in turn 2. Murphy and Spring into the wall. Let's take another look at this one. Murphy on the high side. They go off into 1 and 2. Vern gets a little bit better run into Brandon's bumper and sends them both out to the wall. A heartbreaking night for 2 guys who have fought their way forward all night long. Andrew Thornton now waved back onto the lead lap. That does put Murphy back into 11th. Vern went into pit road for repairs and 4 fresh tires. With a green-white checkered and a bunch of cars still in the lead lap, it is anybody's race. Hey, good evening, Kenny. Richie Joplin and Chance Maderick back together on the front row. The final attempt at the green-white checkered here at Five Flags. Who will get the win in the season finale? It's time to find out. Here we go. Pace car is in. Green flag back in the air. Richie clears into the lead quickly. Maderick gets to second, Hewitt in third, Nolan Perry in fourth, Edmond charging back behind. White flag is in the air one more time around. Richie Joplin just trying to keep Maderick back behind. Down into 3 and 4. Lap traffic in the way. Richie Joplin gets it done at 5 flags. There was a little chaos on the final lap. Let's take a look. Brandon Murphy right behind Richard Young just gets into Richard and they both go for a spin. And across the start finish line, looks like Nolan Perry. Wow. He does finally stop spinning. Let's talk to our top 3, starting with Brian Hewitt. Brian, man, you worked for that one tonight. Great job. Man, you can't have much tires left on that car, but it was one hell of a run up to the front. Well, buddy, great job. Congratulations. Great to see you back on the podium. Brian Hewitt coming home in third. Chance Maderick finishes in second. Chance, you threw everything you had at Richie on that last restart. Just wasn't enough. Well, I gotta hand it to you. It's great sportsmanship. You definitely had a couple opportunities on that last lap, and coming out of turn 2 on that last one, it looked like you actually had the faster run out of 2, just not enough to get by.
Bag, but I got lucky with a green-white checkered because I knew the old tires would at least last for 2 laps.
Well, man, congratulations. That was definitely an awesome run to the end and a great finish. Great way to end the season, buddy.
Yeah, thank you.
And finally, our winner, Drifty Richie Joplin. Richie, congratulations. You pulled off the sweep to end the season. Richie.
Sorry about that. Sorry. I'm kind of excited that I've done a sweep. I've never done that in a league, actually. Pretty cool. I didn't think I had anything for them in the late model, honestly. But I take it. I'm glad Chance raced me clean. I mean, he could have run in there and hit my bumper because he had a pretty good run in 3 there. I'm glad he didn't do it. I just had a lot of fun tonight. I'm just lucky, I guess.
Well, sometimes you'd rather be lucky than good, and man, you got it done once again tonight. A big sweep and a great way to end the season. Great job, buddy.
Yeah, thank you.
Richie Joplin pulls off the sweep. Don't forget, next Monday we are back for the All-Star event. Tomorrow night at 9 Eastern, C12 takes the street stocks rally driving. You're not going to want to miss out on that. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hope y'all had as much fun as we did. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great night.